Hello! Welcome to RattKanGames, a talk about game stuff, where we talk about games.
That's Josh.
That's Trevor.
We're gonna talk today about
The war on used games, which is
You're not reading it off a card.
I know, but I was memorizing. I was thinking about it.
You're not reading it. You sound like you're reading it off a card.
Okay, I'll say it again. The war on used games! Okay, that better?
Bit intense, but I suppose that works.
Alright, so it's kind of like a bunch of different developers. Mostly it seems like it's mostly publishers doing it. Where
EA for one.
Yeah, EA seems to be one of the biggest, but there are other ones doing it, and or Capcom starting to do it, especially with DLC. It seems like. But it just it annoys me because it's basically they don't they don't want used games pretty much to be around at all anymore. They want to discourage people from buying used games so that basically they can make more money.
What a waste.
What a waste. See, and
it's like,
I don't understand it at all.
I can sort of picture at their company being like, someone just buy a used game, shut the servers down.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Especially it seems like EA does this thing where it's like too many people are buying these games. We're gonna shut servers down, and that way people won't play it anymore, or something. I don't know.
They want people to pay full price for the new game so that they can make as much money as possible because they're not making any money off the used games. So they shouldn't let the people who buy it used play it.
Yeah, the number one thing I've noticed what people will do is like they'll have it to where like you want to play multiplayer, you have to put in a code, and the code only works once, so you have to buy a used game, otherwise, or a new game. Otherwise, a used game will just make it where you can't play, like half the features are gone.
And then they put the achievements in the game, and you get like the first one for looking at the intro or something.
But then like 60% of the game is for stuff you can't do without getting a new copy.
Or having the servers up.
Yeah, which you can't do.
Which basically means that's locked on your list. You're always going to have that incomplete game just staring at you in the face because
and you can't do anything about it either.
Or game publishers in general.
Yeah. And I don't understand that. I mean, the used game, yeah, they're buying it, and yes, it goes pretty much all to the company. But you already had the $60 you got from the person that bought it new. So what's the problem?
Plus, you're getting more fans for the future.
Yeah.
If you're just showing people that you're shutting down the servers, you're not getting any new fans. So they're going to be like, okay, they're just going to shut down the game. I'm not buying this.
Yeah, and if the game's good, and people are going to buy it, because the number one thing I've noticed is that after a while, the used games will be like $15-ish or $20, and no one's going to buy it new at that point. But at that point, you're probably working on the sequel anyway, so what's it matter?
I mean, I'm sure it's not that difficult for someone to switch a game to the host, to have a host connection instead of a server connection.
Yeah, every shooter in the world does that for the most part now.
Well, aside from Battlefield, which you can buy your own server,
which
and
is
then there's
EA, which is kind of their solution to the shutting servers down so you can buy your own server. But that's just,
it's probably temporary too.
Yeah, but they'll probably be like, no, you can't do that anymore. And
we bought Army of Two used, thinking we could play it online co-op. The servers were down. You couldn't play it at all.
Yeah.
We had to do everything split screen.
Yeah, but we bought both games for like $5, I think, which we thought was amazing because it was a cool game that we could play online together. But no, the servers were shut down. We couldn't do host, which was stupid to me. So now we had to do split screen. And what really annoys me is there's an achievement for playing co-op online, which we can't do. Why is that an achievement? Why not make it to where you can do the same thing but split screen? And then you can't do any online stuff in that. So we can't ever finish that game, ever.
Nope, it's stuck on the achievement list. Oh, and the first multiplayer game that Mass Effect has...
Two. Or one. Three.
The first multiplayer variant.
You have to put in a code. You have to put in a code, otherwise you can't play. And it's really shallow multiplayer anyways. It was just a way for them to make sure that they didn't get more money.
The only multiplayer I can kind of see doing that worked was the Assassin's Creed one. Because it was actually fun.
Yeah. But
something I could see myself playing.
But that was Ubisoft. It wasn't, and you can still play it even without the code.
Well,
but there are a lot of features that you don't get which that's okay. If you want to make it to where you can do everything, but you get a little bit more if you buy it new, that's fine. But don't make it to where
you can't do anything.
You might as well chop our hands off and let us just play the controller, with one hand. Because that's basically the same thing as just saying no, you can't play half the game.
Well, if they don't want used games to be sold, then they should be the ones going down to the game stores and buying the games back themselves, so they can just put them in like a waste bin or something so they can recycle the discs. As of right now, they're just sitting there in some kid's game box because they're not going to get much of like 10 cents for trading it back in.
Plus, the biggest thing is there are a lot of companies like GameStop that make most of their money off used games and trade-ins.
If you want to ruin the economy, you can start with the games.
Yeah, the gaming economy is built on used stuff. There's old games that are used. There's new games that are used. It's just most people want to buy used games because it's just cheaper. I mean, that's the biggest thing. But
And sure, in America, it's pretty much monopolized by GameStop. But the GameStop is holding jobs right now, and if you can look at the economy, you probably know it's not that great.
yeah, I remember GameStop used to have 2 people working there all the time. Now it seems like most of the time you see one guy there or one girl there, and every once in a while you'll see 2 people there.
Usually for releases.
Yeah, but usually for releases. And if more people, if they would just get off the war on used games, which really I don't think is making them lose that much money, then
We're not losing any money.
nah, they're not.
It's just stopping them from gaining money.
That's true. But it's just the money you make from only being able to buy used games are the ones you make from. It can't be that much. It can't be so much that they have to do it because they have to be okay.
Plus, if given the choice between buying a brand new game for $60 or buying the used same game for $5, take the used.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, think about it this way: you make a game that's awesome. It's new. $60. 10 million copies were sold in the first day the release. That's 600 million, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the problem? That's 600 million. That should be easy enough to pay everything about start making.
Well, the first few months of release are usually the biggest months, but after that, it shouldn't really be much of a problem if someone plays the game used.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if you think about it, you wouldn't be making that much money after that anyways, would you?
Not as much.
Yeah. Because for the most part, I've noticed, you know what will happen if people can't buy used games? They're going to borrow games from their friends, and then you're making no money at all.
Well, you don't make money from used games anyway. Only the GameStop makes money.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, like there'll be people that I see a scenario where a guy plays a game at a friend's house and wants to go buy it, so he goes to GameStop. There's no used copies, so he'll just go ahead and buy a new copy, or he'll buy a Game of the Year copy because that has cooler stuff. So I mean, you're killing yourself sales by not being able to be better. You know.
Well, the thing is, what I would want, because I one day will be a game designer at some point.
That'd be awesome.
But the thing is, if I have games and after this first few months of high selling profits and whatnot, even if they buy used, I'll be happy because they're playing the game.
Yeah.
They're getting the word out that the game is good, and they're going to be interested in getting the next game.
Yeah.
I don't care that they're buying it used. I'm caring that they're playing it.
Yeah.
Enjoying
Plus,
the game.
I mean, again, I can't really see myself because us making a game that sold like 1 million copies, that's like 60 million. That's like ecstatic. Just making that and never making another cent off a game, that'd be awesome. You being able to make a game that sold 1 million copies.
Well, even if the game was made by at least half that money, like say you used $3 million to make the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get 60 million out of it.
You could make a better game. I mean, that's enough. Pay off all the stuff you need to pay off, and then make a much better game.
Or assure sequels for the fans.
Yeah.
Or better content at least.
Yeah.
Patches and whatnot.
And I think DLC would also be sure. Because then you got these other companies that want like digital downloads, and there's no used digital downloads because it's not really possible to do that. So there's that. And people pirating that, I get what that is. Because most like downloadable games are cheap. At least indie games.
Except for Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft is $30, which I still cannot fathom why that game is that much. But it just download games seem to be the best way to go about the whole used game thing. So why not just make that? I mean, why not make a download game?
Well, the thing is, if they do that, then they can't do trade-ins, and that would completely hurt the trade-in or game store company.
That's true.
And then what are people going to do? Take their flash drives in there with the game and say, I'd like to trade this in.
Maybe one day.
I like having the option to trade in my games if I want to. I'm not going to, but I like having the option.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, say something happens where you lose that download and you can't get it back. If you have a physical copy of something, it's different because then you can just plug it in and play it again.
Or if your computer crashes. And
Yeah.
like you have to have the same IP, but it's a different IP because your computer crashed.
Yeah, that's just, it's all. But, so I think the general thing we're agreeing with is the war on used games is ridiculous and they should just give that up. It's the war on drugs, but worse, because there's no way you're going to win from that.
And the thing is, if you want to really if you really want the companies to hear that you buy the game used, regardless of what they say, don't pre-order it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think we should definitely stop pre-ordering stuff unless we like, especially if they make a bad game. If they make a game and it's like, because there's so many things where it's extortion. It seems like.
Well, you pre-order the game for say Halo, which we bring up every episode, but Halo, you get a fancy armor skin, which you would unlock the armor in the game anyway.
Yeah.
Just because you pre-ordered it, you get some little armor skin, and it's really no point.
Yeah, pre-orders used to be awesome. You actually got to get stuff. You actually got stuff in the game. And I miss the days when pre-order people would get stuff that no one else would get that was worth it. Like you get some secret level in a game where you got to play as some character that everyone wants to play as or something.
I think the only thing people who pre-ordered Soul Calibur 4 got was fancy clothing for their people for customization.
Which doesn't matter because
you can't get it ever.
Yeah.
Oh, and when I pre-ordered Sonic Riders, the first one, when Sonic games were still okay, I got a fancy T-shirt with Sonic the Hedgehog on it, and I still wear it. I mean, I got physical merchandise.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
Yeah. Remember, like, because then there was like these, the legendary stuff where you get like booklets on the game, like or concept art or something cool, something physical that you could sell later if you wanted to, or you could keep and to be part of the lore. And I think that's cool. I remember, what was it?
Skyrim gave you a dragon statue.
Yeah, an actual dragon statue, like.
But that's forgetting the limited edition, not pre-order.
Yeah, and I think Dead Rising 2 had it where you got like that pin that looked like the Zombrex thing. That was cool.
But I think that was also a limited edition thing.
Yeah, but
it wasn't a pre-order bonus. The pre-ordering is what's.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about pre-ordering? Originally, it was like a way to where you made sure you got a copy. Because they'd only print a certain number of copies, and if they ran out, you couldn't get the game. So that's what pre-ordering.
Now they're making a ton of copies,
more than
not only for pre-orders, but for the game for the days after sale.
Yeah.
It's just you pre-order it to tell them that they needed this many copies, not so they could give you junk just because you decided you wanted to pre-order a game.
Yeah. But anyways, we're on used games. Stupid. I'm Josh. This is Trevor.
Buy used games. Don't pre-order.
Yeah, don't pre-order. Buy used games if you want. They're cheaper, and most of the time it seems like it's about a year or two before it actually goes down a significant price.
He's going to GameStop and bought 5 or 6 games for $20.
Yeah, I'll get a stack of games even if they end up bad, just because it's $20 for like 5 games. You can't beat that. So.
Unless you're a pirate, filthy pirates.
Yeah.
Well, you're only filthy if it's good stuff, because then you're hurting the actual good companies.
Yeah. Eat fruit. No scurvy. Alright, so thank you for watching this with us. We always enjoy talking about games and stuff. And if you want to be part of the conversation, comment or,
Tell us what to drink.
Tell us what to drink. I finished mine. And we'll do stuff. We'll talk about whatever you guys want. If you want to just tell us what bad hosts we are, we'll, make note of that.
Maybe we'll wear a hat.
What?
He's already wearing a hat. Maybe we'll wear a hat.
I'll wear a fancy hat. I'll wear a Santa hat next video if we get 1 comment. How about that? Alright. So, again, thanks again. We'll see you guys next time on Game Chat, whatever we end up calling this, and
farewell.
Farewell.